Okay, so we're back for another round of playing the wizards against myself, Gandalf versus Saruman. So took a little time, uploaded some of the videos, and also took a look at some of the gameplay, and noticed a few mistakes that I'd made. This is my first time playing in a few years, and still a little rusty. So, for example, looking back when I played Lure of Nature over here on Aragorn, I played 2 Lure of Natures on him, but that can't be duplicated on a single character. So I could have played one on Beregond and one on Aragorn, but I couldn't have played one on, or both on Aragorn. We're going to leave it as is for now because he tapped to remove 1. Now he only has 1, which is allowed, and just try and do better going forward. Another mistake I made was back when we were in Isengard, and we'd met Saruman, and then we tapped Isengard to play the Palantir. I didn't face the automatic attack. It was a pretty weak 3 strikes of 6 prowess, so it's very likely that we would have beaten it. But yes, I did not face that. So that was another mistake that I made. And there was something else, I think. 2 Lure of Natures. I didn't face the automatic attack. I can't remember what the other one was. But yes, I'll try and be a little bit more careful going forward. I feel like I've been making a lot of the mistakes to the benefit of Saruman's team. So when I tallied up the points, we're getting near to the bottom of the first deck. So for both sides, here's our discard pile. Here's our play deck. The way that now's a good time to talk about the win condition. I'm playing what's called a 3-deck game, and the way that works is that you can call a free counsel after you've gone through the play deck 3 times or 2 times and have at least 30 marshalling points. So really it's a 2-deck game because by the time you get through your deck twice, you should have 30 marshalling points if you're playing well. And so, yeah, but that I feel like that's the minimum number of times. If you play it just once through your deck, you're really not getting the full flavor of the game, because you need to make decisions. You need to be able to discard without thinking, oh, well, this is likely the last time I'll ever see this card. The game's about making decisions, and so I feel like you at least need to go through your deck twice to get the full experience. So that's the way we're playing. In the future, we may try a 4-deck game, a campaign game, but for now, we're staying with the 3-deck rules, and so as soon as we get through the decks twice, if someone has 30 marshalling points, they may call a free counsel. Then they get their turn, the other player gets their turn, and then everyone faces a corruption check, and we tally up the points. So but tallying up the points right now, we have 24 points on Saruman's side, 24 marshalling points on Saruman's side, 1 from the Childowser, 7 from the factions, 3 from Aragorn, 3 from Return of the King, 1 from the Tree, 2 from Quickbean, 2 from Theoden, 2 from the Arrow, 1 from Erkenbrand, and 2 from the Palantir. And then on Gandalf's side we have 18. 1 from Lindian, 4 from the Dwarven Ring, 1 from Sam, 1 from Gildor, 3 from Glorfindel, 1 from Annalena, 2 from Glóin, 2 from the Ring, 2 from Balin, and 1 from the beautiful Gold Ring. So yes, Gandalf's team is 6 points behind. So I should really we've got to make up ground or hamper our opponent better. And I'll try not to make mistakes that benefit Saruman's team. I'll try not to make mistakes, period, but especially not ones that benefit Saruman's team so much. I feel like I've been that may have helped them a little bit. Hopefully not too much. But yes, we're back. We played the Balrog of Moria on those guys as they were entering Lorien in order to mess them up, but Saruman tapped to play Marvels Told. And, that was good and it was bad. That was the last chance Saruman really had to tap to pull cards from his discard pile into his playdeck with the Palantir. You can't do that once your playdeck's below 4 and his 5 and his playdeck is now 4. So he will not be able to do that until until the playdeck's reshuffled on his side. So it was good and bad. It accomplished something. It kept him from being able to take advantage of that. So it wasn't meaningless, and it's still out there. So next go round we can pull that bad boy back out. The Balrog is not gone for good. But let's jump right back into it, and we've got Gandalf, Sam, and an injured Gildor at the Stone Circle. We've got Glorfindel, Glóin, Balin, and an injured Annalena at Aragorrn up in the northeast. We've got 2 potential rings in our hands, and 2 potential magic rings, and an ally and a faction. So lots of good stuff to do in our hand. Let's think about what we want to do next. So first we'll untap everyone. Gandalf. Gildor stays wounded. Annalena stays wounded. Glóin and Balin. Alright. And Glorfindel and the dwarves are going to stay at Aragorrn because they weren't able to enter the site last time because everyone was tapped. And Gandalf and Sam and Gildor have to decide what to do. We can keep traveling around with an injured Gildor. He's still pretty strong even when injured, even when wounded, but it's not ideal. However, we want to get a ring, and so we could go to the Isles of the Dead that Live, but that's probably not a good idea because the moment we beat one of our an undead automatic attack, we remove the Moon is Dead, which we want to keep in place. So I'm thinking that we will instead go to the Wood Elves. That's up in Thranduil's Hall. I could get Glorfindel to do that. Well, before we do that, we should organize our company. I don't think there's anything to change. Gandalf, yeah, okay. So yes, all right. We're untapped. We're not changing any of this organization. We're still got 7 general influence left over. Yes, so we could go to Isengard. From the old Puckle Gap where we are, we could go Puckleland, Edenwaith, Cardoland. Puckleland, Edenwaith. Well, Puckleland, Isengard. We may end up going to Isengard. I just don't. We can't make it to Austin Edel in one turn. So Isengard it is. Fantastic. We just missed Saruman, Master of our Order. There we go. And this company is staying put. All right. So let's face the movement hazard. Let's face the movement hazard phase for Gandalf first. We're traveling from Old Puckleland, from the Puckle Gap, which is Puckle Gap. Sorry, the Puckle Gap, which is wilderness. Old Puckleland is wilderness, and then the Gap of Isen is a borderland. So double wilderness, borderland, and we're heading to a ruins and lair from a ruins and lair. And we have the potential to draw up to 2, but keeping in mind every card we draw above 1 is upping our hazard limit and the number of cards our opponent draws. Alright, so we're drawing a card, and it's yet another ring. Okay, so we're spoiled for choice as far as rings go. We also have smoke rings in our hand, which we could play at any time to pull a card from our discard pile and put it in our play deck. That's not a bad idea, especially as small as our play deck is at the moment. We should definitely try and do that before we reshuffle the play deck. Alright, so, beautiful gold ring. Yes. So, we're headed there. That's all we're going to draw. We're spoiled for choice. Let's look at our opponent. And we can draw up to 2. We can hit them with Orc Raiders. We can hit them with Wolf Riders. So the Wolf Riders say may be played following any Orc attack not keyed to a site. Well, that works. 3 strikes. If played as a short event, modify the prowess to a wolf attack. Okay. Alright. So, 3 strikes of 8. If may be played following any Orc attack not keyed to a site. Okay, so we could do 4 strikes of 6, followed by 3 strikes of 8. Oh, by the way, we need to discard this long event. Gotta remember to do that. Alright, so we already have some pretty good options. Let's... Oh yeah. Yowza. Uh-oh. These guys might be in trouble. So, Orc Warband, this is another one that gets a buff if it's played after another. So we may be doing, yes, Raiders, followed by Wolf Riders, followed by the Orc Warband. I mean, we can go hard. And let's see, that's 1, their hazard limit is 3. Yeah, 2.5, which rounds up to 3. So that's all we need to draw. And let's do this. So, we have a real opportunity here, and even if this Orc Raiders may end up giving them a marshalling point, it's worth it to get this whole Orc train going. So let's do this. So we're going to play Orc Raiders, 4 strikes of 6. Okay, now how are these guys going to deal with this? We've got 4 combatants, and and we have a pretty good sense that there may be something coming after this one. So I think, plus we have to do something at Isengard, or waste a turn. No reason not to tap Elendil to take a strike. Oh, by the way, I'm going to declare that. Let's see. You know, this is something that I've been considering for house rules. I think that I've never seen anything in the rules about this, but if it were the case that the Orc Raiders attacked them at the Borderlands in an attempt to avoid Sam's elven cloak, then it wouldn't really make a lot of sense for then the next Orc Warband to be able to get them at the Wilderness, since they go through the Borderlands first. So I think I'm gonna, whether that's not really part of the rules, but I think it's let's do something to favor Gandalf's team for once. And I'm going to say that you can't mix up the order of things. They're being attacked by the Orc Raiders, well, or I could just attack them in the Wilderness. Actually, that's the thing to do. So we're going to attack them in the Wilderness, and so Sam has the option to tap Elven Cloak to cancel 1 strike. Yes, so we're just gonna accept that for this go round and say Sam can tap. Elendil can tap, Gildor's wounded, and Gandalf is choosing not to tap. So let's see what happens. We've got, let's take them in order left to right. So Elendil is facing a strike of Elendil is facing a strike with a prowess of 6. He's got 3. He beats it. Gandalf has a prowess of, what does this ring give him? 2. Nice. So he has a prowess of 5 if he chooses not to tap. He beats his. Sam. Well, you know, Sam, now that's a good question. Are we worried? Are we worried about what might come next? Because this is really not a bad attack. I'm trying to put myself... They have not been able to pull off... Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's coming. So Sam taps the Elven Cloak, and then Gildor... Although if Sam didn't tap the Elven Cloak, then we could possibly get the marshalling point. What would he need to beat? If he tapped, he would need to beat... he would need to beat... yeah, he would need to roll a 5. That's a good question. This is about as weak as an attack as they get. Boy, as soon as I do this, he's going to get injured, isn't he? Alright, well, even if he's injured, his cloak will still be an option. So I'm going to tap Sam. Let's try and kill this guy. Alright, let's do it. Sam's got a prowess of 1, trying to beat a 6. Oh, he does it. Hello, good job. Alright, Sam for the win. We might get our first marshalling point from defeating an enemy. And then Gildor usually has a prowess of 7 against orcs, but now he's wounded, so it goes down to a 5, and he beats his automatically. So there's nothing else to be said. We got it. Our first marshalling point from a kill. Nice job, guys. Okay, but that's not it. Now we can hit them with 5 strikes of 7 or 3 strikes of 8. Let's go with the 3 strikes of 8 next. Alright, 3 strikes of 8. So no one can tap to choose to have the strike placed on them except for Gandalf, and he's not going to tap. So it's up to them whether they want to play this strike on but you know what, that's not key to any specific location, is it? If played, it doesn't really say anything about where it's keyed to, so and it could just be the borderlands, I suppose. So Sam can't use his Elven Cloak on this one. Ruh-roh. Alright, so maybe he should have used it the last one, but we got that marshalling point. That was good. So Lindian, he's tapped, so he's got a prowess of 2, trying to beat an 8. Oof, he doesn't do it. He got 5. 7. No good. Alright, I was looking at smoke rings. I'm like, oh, can I bring something into my hand? But no, it's into your play deck. Huh. Alright, Sam. Yeah, he can't tap that cloak, so he's got to face the strike with a prowess of 0. Man. Oof, Sam is injured. This is bad news. This is very bad news. Alright, and Gildor. Gildor, again, prowess of 5. Okay, Gildor beats his strike. So, that's it for Wolf Riders. And we need to do some body checks. First for Lindian. Oh my lord, Lindian is gone. Eliminated. Yowza. Oh, that's tragic. All that way. And then Sam. Oh no! Oh no! This is terrible. Okay. Ugh. Wow. So Sam is out. Eliminated. That is terrible. And his Elven Cloak will pass to Gildor. Wow. Terrible. That's awful. All right. And we can still play one more card. Boy, this is a tragic turn. 5 strikes of 7. Okay, so I'm going to play 5 strikes of 7. Here we go. This orc deck's finally starting to cook. Alright, so I think Gandalf, 5 strikes of 7. And this is, we're keying this to the ruins and lair of Isengard. So, yes, the Elven Cloak is still not applicable. And Gandalf, well, let's just not risk it. Gandalf's tapping. Dang it. Alright, so they're going to put the extra strikes on Gildor. So it's, while he would normally be 5, he is down to 2 to beat a 7. Alright, he did it. And then Gandalf beat his, I think, easily. Alright, so we killed another orc, but we were forced to tap, and we arrived in Isengard. Oof, that was sad. Alright, yeah, rough turn, rough movement hazard phase in Gandalf's company. I mean, we technically broke even. We lost 2 characters worth a marshalling point each, and we got 2 kills, which are also worth a marshalling point each. But emotionally, yeah, we lost our only ally. We lost Sam. That's kind of heartbreaking. And we need to play a little bit more carefully. I think that's the lesson. And so, prior to the end of Gandalf's movement hazard phase, I'm going to play this smoke rings to pull. We're going to be a little bit more cautious. I'm going to actually not the sexiest move, but I'm going to pull a concealment out. Use smoke rings to pull a concealment out of my discard and put it in my play deck, which is 5 cards. So I just think we've got to be a little bit more careful. Oh, one thing I did intend to do, and I forgot, but I intended to pass these healing herbs to either Glóin or Balin. I'll just say Balin, and I forgot to do that. Glorfindel would have to make a corruption check, but it's only 1 point, and so he would pass it immediately. So I forgot to do that. Feeling a little sorry for the Gandalf team, so we're just going to say I did that. Yes, so we end Gandalf's movement hazard phase. We make sure this is nice and shuffled, these 5 cards. Maybe we can get that concealment back right away. If we do, I'm going to heal Annalena and have that on tap. Let's see what it is. Halfling strength. That's salt in the wound. Halfling strength. Alright, well, not what I was hoping for, but and so we may not actually heal Annalena at this moment because yeah, we don't have that. All right, but we're at Aragorn. Oh, this side also needs to bring their hand back up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Riders of Rohan. Man, we have factions for days. Okay, so hobgoblins. See, this is one of those that requires deep wilderness, so 2 wilderness and in the sight path. They are staying put at Aragorn. They're not moving, and so we can't draw. They can't draw, and so their movement hazard phase. We don't have anything we can play on them, so their movement hazard phase is over. All right, now we move to the sight phase. And yes, so. Just so sad. All right, get over it. Now we're in the sight phase. Okay, and I want to. Boy, I'm tempted to play it safe and just get this ring with someone other than Glorfindel, because he's got the best chance of beating this dragon automatic attack without taking any damage. So let's do that. Glorfindel taps to face... We're entering the side. Glorfindel taps to face the one strike with a prowess of 14. He has a prowess of 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my lord. Glorfindel is wounded. Wow. That's rough. Alright, body check. Okay, thank goodness. Whew. Alright. If Glorfindel died, that would be really bad. So let's tap Glóin to bring in a... Which one do we want to bring in? So I'm going to bring in the beautiful gold ring, and yeah, that way Gandalf has a slightly better chance to get a dwarven ring, and we can always on his team, and then we can get whatever we want with good old ring lore. And then Gandalf is not able to enter Isengard because no one's untapped, and so that is the... Now we're at the end of turn phase, and we can discard one card and bring our hand up to 8. And so can the other side. So no need for halfling strength at the moment. Concealment. Alright, well there it is. Still could come in handy next go round. Okay, and then same on the other side. Doors of Night doesn't do anything for us. And Tempering Friendship. This is a +4 to an influence attempt against a faction. All right, that is never not useful unless you're not influencing factions. And we're at the end of our deck, so I'm going to remove the side cards that. These go back into the site deck, and we can return to any of these places again if we so choose. Alright, so those go back over there, and then we reshuffle our play deck. We take our discard and make it our play deck again, but one thing we can do is at the end of our deck we can take 5 cards from our sideboard and put them in here. They can be resources, they can be hazards, they can be characters, whatever. So I'm thinking, I'm not sure. As much as I like Saruman's spell ability, I think we've got to bring these two. These are just such good cards. And Forthy Haste, untap a character in your wizard's company. That is just consequence free, essentially. I want the Men of Lemidon, and so alright, well that answers that. We've got 4 of the 5 right there, and then if we can, as much as these other ones look interesting, if we can, and we still could tap a Nazgul to bring something into our play deck, or tap Saruman, probably unlikely, but if we, alright, Fireworks is would be good if we, alright, distorting this tap to site, marshalling with distorted Minas Tirith, no, okay. So we could still pull the Tower Guard of Minas Tirith without, these are great, but they increase the hazard, the prowess of each hazard creature by 2, automatic attacks up, yeah. Good, but this one's the best, I think. If we can somehow cause them to get 0 points from factions, that would double our faction haul, even if we, yeah, that would be amazing. So we're bringing these 5 cards in, so 2 factions, this card that's just useful whenever you've got a wizard out, and then Muster Disperses. We've seen that in action already. So here we go, we're shuffling these back in. I'm in a play deck. This play deck is significantly smaller than the one we started with. Obviously, we've got a lot of cards on the board. We've got a few things that won't come back, like Amor. And yeah, so this one should go. This should be a shorter go round. But now it's this team's turn. Untap Aragorn. Untap Aragorn. Yes. Untap Saruman. And we are going to. I just don't think there's no way around it. We have untap Quick Me. We have got to get this Lure of Nature off of us. I'd like to start heading out to the east of the Gap of Isen, and there's nothing over there but wilderness. So you can see over here where I'm talking about. So the Gap of Isen, just to the east, you're getting into the area of the Lost Kingdom of Arnor, and yeah, there's nothing over there but wilderness. So we would have to make corruption checks galore, and one little snake eyes could do us in. So as much as I hate to do it, I'm gonna have to tap Aragorn to get that Lure of Nature off, or make the attempt anyway. But before I do that, I'm going to have I'm going to do something a little unconventional, perhaps, and I just want to one muster disperses could really mess up our day. So even though we've got 5 general influence free, I'm going to try and free up a little bit more by 7 by having Theoden. This could be actually. So this is, I can do this in the, yes. So first Theoden is going to tap to attempt to remove this Lure of Expedience. He did so. All right. And then he's going to pass his red arrow to Erkenbrand. So he needs to make a corruption check. Whew, okay. He did that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Erkenbrand actually. So I'm actually going to put Theoden under Erkenbrand. We'll just say that the king is leaning on his trusted advisor right now during these troubled times. And so, yes, Erkenbrand is going to... And then Hema, oh right, Hema goes from wounded to tapped, because Lórien is still a haven. We got rid of that nasty Balrog, and Lórien is back to being a haven again. So, yes, now we have 7 free general influence. And, okay, Aragorn will also tap to attempt to remove his Lure of Nature. And he did so as well. Okay, so everyone's feeling pretty good. And we need to recruit the Riders of Rohan, and then we need to do other things as well. So we really need to pick up Narsil. So we also need to get this Andûril. And, and I want to bring in Halbarad. So Halbarad will also come in under Saruman. He is the 1 mind sage with 1 influence. Like, I think he has the best mind to direct influence ratio in the game, 1-to-1. Nobody has, I don't know that another character has that. So that's amazing. But he has 0 prowess, so he's quite weak in combat. But that's not what we need him for. Hello. Okay. It's not what we need him for. We need him for his sage wisdom. Okay. So, and I think we might actually try to do, before we go recruit the Riders of Rohan, we may actually try and do something else. We may try and put these back in. We may actually try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A lot of the sites to get information that are close at hand have, well, for example, Dimril Dale has an orc automatic attack. It's weak, but if by defeating it, we would get rid of our redoubled force card, and it would be much stronger than it need be. The other thing we could do is instead try and get rid of one of their cards, the Moon is Dead, by defeating the automatic attack at Amon Hen. And yeah, that's an undead automatic attack. The Moon is Dead ups the prowess and forces us to face that automatic attack twice. But if we can beat it, then we will make that card go away. So I think it's worth a shot. If we get there and we can't, and we have to wait a turn, we'll do so. It might even be worth it just to get rid of that dadgum card. So these guys are going to Amon Hen, and meanwhile, Aragorn needs to get a greater item. Oh, that is not a site where you can get a greater item. Where is the site you can get a greater item? Tolfalas, or the stones. From the Gap of Eisen, we can get to the stones would be Borderlands, Wilderness, and Borderlands, Wilderness, yeah, Wilderness. Tolfalas is, oh, that's far away. Yep, so the stones it must be. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. And we are off. So let's, who should we do first? Let's do, yes, let's do Saruman first. So we are going to Amon Hen. The site path from Lorien is Wilderness Borderlands. It's a ruin and lair. Both sides can draw up to 1 card, and we will draw 1. Marvel's Told. Oh, interesting. This side may also draw 1. Robin Smallborough. Okay. He's no Samwise Gamgee, but I mean, who is? Okay, but that doesn't help us here. So they're heading to us. We know they're heading to a site with an undead automatic attack. So we could always buff that attack. The prowess of 1 undead attack is modified by 1. The next character wounded by an attack, wounded by the attack, yes, has this card played on them. All right. So let's see. We have nothing to play on them, so they arrive safely. Everyone brings their hand back down to 8, and for us that means I may come to regret this, but I'm going to discard the Wood Elves. All right. And all right, so they've arrived at Amon Hen. And now we go to the stones, and we're leaving from the Gap of Eisen, going through Old Pukul Land, and then to the to Andrast, where the stones are. And so our site path is Borderlands, Wilderness, and it's a ruin and lair with an automatic attack of 2 strikes of 9 Pukul men. So we can draw up to 1, they can draw up to 1. Heroic Lieutenant, okay. And they can draw up to 1. Wisp of Pale Sheen. 1 strike. Attacker chooses defending characters. Any character facing a strike whose mind is equal to or lower than the strike's prowess must tap if untapped following the strike. Okay, unless the strike is cancelled. Interesting. Okay. So, we can definitely play that on them. That's a very playable card. Yes, Aragorn's already tapped, so I could force Baragon to tap. Now I'm thinking that Halbarad should have tapped to play Marvel's Told and just gotten rid of the Moon is Dead altogether. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Did not. So this becomes 2 strikes with a prowess of 7. 2 strikes with a prowess of 7, and I can force. I can choose the defenders. So I'm going to choose Baragon and Forlong, and 2 strikes with a prowess of 7. And they will be, because both of their minds are below the prowess, they will be tapped at the end of this regardless. So they should just tap anyway. I don't have anything that's going to help them in this, is it? No. So, Forlong. Remind me what his prowess is. 3, and Baragon we know is 4. Okay, so Forlong has a prowess of 3. Oh, wait a second. Actually, I'm going to apply Icy Touch to this. Yes, Icy Touch. What was it? Prowess of 7. 2 strikes with a prowess of 7, so that would be prowess of 8. 2 strikes with a prowess of 8. Forlong rolled at 8 though, so he beat his strike. Alright, Baragon. Ooh, Baragon beat his as well. Okay, so Icy Touch did not trigger, and this Wisp of Pale Sheen becomes another point in their marshalling. Yeah. And, you know what that does? Actually, that cancels out the Moon is Dead. Okay. Boy. Alright. This is not going... Our attacks are just not really landing. Part of it might just be me, my inept playing. Is there anything that Ren could do here for us? I don't think so. I could force Saruman to make a corruption check. That doesn't seem, that's very that's a long shot. I could... The problem with leaving him there is that then once I reshuffle, he's just going to be there. So I could... These 5 cards. Okay. Tapping Ren and putting these 5 cards in my discard. There we go. That's something. I've got to make use of these of the hazard limit if I can. So, all right. And they made it. They made it to the Glittering Caves. Start their new discard pile. They made it to the stones from the Glittering Caves. Alright, and that's all I can do against them. I handed them a marshalling point, but hopefully I did something that's going to help us out in the future. Alright, so they are there. They are here. These guys are at Amon Hen. Sad that, and then they need to discard down to, I think I'm going to discard the Knights of Dol Amroth for now. Pull them back later with the Palantir if need be, but yeah, I can't just weigh my hands down with potential marshalling points and at the expense of everything else. So I'm going to, yes, all right, that's it. Now we enter the side phase. Okay, so side phase. Unfortunately, Aragorn and his party will not be able to do anything at the stones because everyone's tapped except for Quick Beam, and Quick Beam's an ally. He can't he can't tap to perform actions at sites. So yes, they'll just have to wait until their next turn. But Saruman and his party do have untapped characters that can do stuff. So let's think about what we want to do. We can tap a Sage to play Marvel's Told, and but that forces a corruption check modified by -2. I also need to play this card, but this is this card forces a corruption check modified by -3. So that's something I'm even less excited to do with Saruman. So yeah, you know, risking losing the game to get rid of a card like Traitor or Icy Touch doesn't really sound worth it. Perhaps I should have just discarded Marvel's Told, actually, instead of the Knights of Dol Amroth, but I didn't. So yes, we're going to face the automatic attack. It's no longer buffed by the moon is dead, and so it's just a 1 strike with a prowess of 6, and I'm going to have Erkenbrand tap to face that, and yeah, he can't lose. So then Halbarad will tap the site and play this Andûril, the Flame of the West, and he must make a corruption check modified by -3. He has no corruption points currently, so he's fine. Alright. Now we need to get him back to a haven as quickly as possible so that we can store that and get those 3 corruption points, or get that 1 corruption point off of him. He can't untap until we do that. So that's the end of our site phase, and we are at the point where we can discard 1 and draw up to 8. When we go to Rohan, we will... I'm wondering, should I get rid of Marvel's Told? I can't. I'm hesitant to use Saruman to do that. My only other Sage is Halbarad, and he is tapped until we get back to a haven. Tempering Friendship is equally unlikely to be used at the moment. I'm feeling pretty good about our upcoming influence checks against factions. I'm gonna discard that one, and we're gonna draw, and let's hope we get some stuff to mess with. Yes, here we go. All right, make sure I'm shuffling this well. I always get weirded out when I get like 3 or 4 of the same kind of card in a row. But anyway, okay, they're back up to their 8, and then let's take a look at this party over here. Is there anything that they would like to discard? I'm not excited about discarding any rings. I'm not excited about discarding any of this stuff, to be honest. However, I think I'll discard Robin for now. And then smoke rings. Okay, bring 1 resource or character from your sideboard or discard into your playdeck and shuffle. So I need to shuffle this. I need to shuffle my discard and create my next playdeck after I take out all of the site cards, and then I suppose then I'll need to actually need to decide which 5 cards from the sideboard I would like to bring in. I definitely want to bring some in. You know, we lost one of the 3 allies in this deck, so I might want to bring in Shadowfax, And hey, why not another magic ring of courage? And I think the Blue Mountain Dwarves, and why not Boromir and the Burden of Time? Twilight here is a card that's primarily used to discard. It can discard any environment cards, but it's mostly used to discard Gates of Morning or Doors of Night. So Gates of Morning and Doors of Night are two environment cards that kind of set the tone of what is going on. Many hazards or resources can key off of those two cards, and so if your opponent is playing the one that you don't like, then Twilight can force the discard of that and sort of bring things back into the way that you want them. But my opponent is playing Doors of Night cards, and so am I, so it's not an issue. So we're going to pull these 4 from the sideboard, and I'm going to remove the side cards from here, shuffle up my new play deck, and then we'll start the next round.